Hey everybody, welcome back. And in this video, we're going to think about our second consonant for this week, letter G. And just like C, letter G can make two different sounds. Okay, it can be hard, and the sound of hard G is G. The sound we're used to it making, the sound it makes most of the time. Okay, so we might call it the normal or regular sound of G. Okay, and it's probably the first sound we learned for letter G. And we call it hard G because, again, it's hard out of the mouth. We have that hard tongue bounce off of the roof of our mouth. Okay, and then we use our voice with it to make the sound of hard G. Okay, so let's do that a few times. G, 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 g. Okay, now G can also be soft, and the sound of soft G is J, just like a J. Okay, so do that with me a few times. J, 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 J. A nice, soft, gentle sound. So remember, just like letter C, G can make two different sounds. It can be hard G or soft J. Okay, now before we continue, I would like you to stop the video, get a paper, get a pencil, copy everything down on the board that you see, including the chart and the words. And when you have that finished, click back on so we can continue. Okay, here are the rules that we can use to help us know if the G is going to be hard or soft in a word. And it's the same, these are the same rules that we use for hard and soft C. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with hard G. When G comes before the vowels A, O, U, and all of the other consonants, okay, it makes its normal hard sound G. When G comes before the vowels E, I, or Y, it makes its soft sound J, like a J. J, J, J. Now, remember, when I was in school, my teacher told me to think of these as scaredy cat vowels. So when G comes before them, it doesn't want to scare them with its big hard sound. So it softens down to a J. J, J, J. So just like C, letter G can be a very nice letter. Okay, but these are the rules for hard and soft G, the same rules that we use for hard and soft C. Okay, when G comes before the vowels A, O, U, and all of the other consonants, it is hard and says G. And when G comes before the vowels E, I, or Y, it is soft and says J, like a J. J, J, J. And you know Y can be a vowel, and it's when G comes before Y as a vowel that it can sound like a J. Okay? Alrighty, let's go ahead and use these rules to read our words down below with hard and soft G. And you should already have these copied so you can follow along and do this with me. Go ahead with our first word, and let's go ahead and underline the G and what comes and what it comes before. So if we look at this word, we have G before A. And if we look at our rule, G before A is hard and says G. So let's read this word with hard G. Gas. Like I stopped for gas last night. Let's go to our next one and let's underline. And you can see that we have G before O. Look at our rule. When G comes before O, it is hard and says G. So let's read this word with hard G. It's got. Okay, like I got a brand new toy in the mail. Let's go to our next one and let's underline. Okay, and you can see that we have G before E. So let's look at our rule. When G comes before E, it's soft. Okay, and says J, like a J. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this word with soft G. And what we're going to do here is we're going to hook a J. as a little reminder. Now, you're not going to see this when you read words, okay? Or you're not going to see this in print when you're reading words, but we're going to do it here as a little reminder. So let's read this word with soft G like a J. J. It is age. It's also a magic E word. Like, what age are you? Okay, how old are you? And the E has two jobs in this word, okay? To be silent in magic and let the first vowel say its name and soften the G down to a J. So you can have soft G in lots of magic E words, okay? Let's go right to the next one. In underline, we have G before Y. If we look at our rule, when G comes before Y, it is soft and says J like a J. Okay, so let's go ahead and hook that J and let's read this word with soft G. It is gym. Like we went to gym class last week. Now, there's that crazy chameleon Y. Now, Y is the vowel in this word. Okay, but it says short I because it's closed up by itself. Okay, so sometimes Y as a vowel can be a short I. Okay, so Y is a true chameleon. It can make lots of different sounds. Okay, let's keep it going. And let's underline. And we have G before U. Okay, if we look at our rule, when G comes before U, it is hard and says G. Let's read this with hard G. Gut. Like I got punched in the gut or the stomach. Let's go to the next one and let's underline. We have G before R, which is a consonant. If we look at our rule, when G comes before another consonant, it is hard and says G. Let's read this with hard G. Grab. Like, don't grab that from me. Let's go to our next one. And this word is just a little bit bigger. It has two different vowel sounds, so we're going to circle two different syllables. Okay? Alrighty. If we look at just the first syllable, and underline, you can see that we have G before I. Well, if we look at our rule, when G comes before I, it is soft and says J, like a J. So let's go ahead and hook that J. And let's read our first syllable with soft G. It's Jai, okay, with long I on its own at the end. And then we have our second syllable, ant, with short A closed up by itself. If we put it together, it's giant. Okay, if we say it fast and say it like we normally do, it is giant. Like the giant was so tall, he reached up into the sky. Now, that A is not actually short. It's weak and schwa. We hardly hear it. So this is giant, okay, with a soft G. All righty. Let's go to our last one. And let's underline. And you can see how we have G before E. If we look at our rules, when G comes before E, it is soft, okay, and says J like a J. Let's hook the J, and let's read this with soft G. It's gel, like I use gel in my hair, okay? Alrighty. So you can see hard and soft G. Okay, they're just like hard and soft city. When G comes before the vowels A, O, U, and all of the other consonants, it's hard and says G. When G comes before the vowels E, I, or Y, it is soft and says J, like a J. Okay? So hard and soft G and hard and soft C follow those same rules, okay, for their two sounds. Okay, now let's take a look here. I want you to stand, and we're going to do the same thing we did for hard and soft C. I want you to do some hard marching, and as you do that hard marching, make the sound of hard G. G. So go. G, 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 G. Now do some soft sliding. And as you do that, make the sound of soft G, like a J. J, J, J. Okay. And again, you can stop the video and you can do those motions several more times. And again, putting the hard motion with the hard G, the soft motion with the soft G. just kind of reinforces our hard and soft concept, okay? All right, so you can do that a few more times. When you finish, click back on and we'll finish. Okay, I've got some words here. And this is get, this is give, this is girl. Well, what do you know? We have G before E and I, but it doesn't sound like a J. J. It's still a hard G. G. This is get, give, girl. You know, we always have those words that break our rules. Okay? So when a letter makes different sounds, you may need to try both of those sounds to get the right word. And here is Jet, and here is Jill. Okay? Now, we might have the sound of a J before E and I, but we're not spelling it with a G. It's still a J. Okay? So don't spell every sound of a J before E, I, or Y with a G. A lot of times it's still just a J. Okay? So, like we said with the soft C, use the soft G as a reading rule. And know that when you read words, sometimes the G before E, I, or Y will sound like a J. Okay? And then as you get more experience with words, okay, you will know if it's going to be a G or a J in the word when you go to spell it. But for now, just use it as a good reading rule. Okay? Alrighty. In our next video, we'll tie up some loose ends. See ya.